Hello, beautiful beings. I just have so much swirling around about love and how we have been conditioned through lifetimes on this planet. What what love looks like. The person's idea of love has so many conditions put on it. I used to be that way. I absolutely used to be that way. I used people like life rafts. They weren't my partner. They were like a victim. They were they were my life preserver. I needed them desperately, and so I acted however I needed to act, and I didn't know any better. I had no idea that I was even doing it. I did not realize it for a really long time. I would morph into whoever somebody needed me to be compatible with them. And I always knew that I was going to change somehow. Oh yeah, I always acted a lot happier than I actually felt because my mind was so busy every day, all day long. It was so busy. After a while of being with somebody, I always felt very claustrophobic and trapped and like I couldn't breathe. And so and of course I was picking somebody that matched my vibration, like my point of attraction. So obviously, they weren't there forever. They were just there so I could learn something. Ouch. But I'm grateful, so grateful. See, that's why I never say that it's anybody's fault. It's not a fault thing. It's a life thing. We are on planet Earth. So, ancients, what was I saying? Yes, so love, I know I mentioned my mom and my daughters a lot, but they are my friends. They're my best friends and my family, and we've just learned so much together and overcome so much together. Just our closeness, I'll just always be so grateful for it. And so yesterday, my mom and I were talking about how some people don't understand our relationship. And our relationship is the way it is, well, because it's divinely orchestrated to be the way it is. Because after I woke up with Muji, I lost the ability to bring up things to fantasize about, to, try to soothe my mind. And the other thing that I lost the ability to do was to do things out of, not completely, that took a while, but to make decisions based on I should, or out of guilt, or a sense of obligation, or any conditioned belief I was taught over lifetimes. This is what you do to show somebody you love them. And those started burning immediately. Everything started burning immediately. But it does, it takes a while at a cellular level. Like, we are burning at a cellular level things that aren't for our highest good. And when I say for our highest good, that means for the highest good of every being on the planet and the whole planet. So, it has not felt comfortable at all. I have sobbed at times because of it. However, I could not make myself go against the feeling of, I can't make myself do something. The joy of the joy of sitting in those uncomfortable times and not acting on any of those thoughts or emotions that came up, letting those burn off, and what's left is these joyful unions that we have, that I have with the people that I love the most and that love me the most. It's not from our minds. It's divinely orchestrated, and we meet each other on the level of this super equal vibration. Even if one is having a hard time, it's not like we're both happy. That doesn't necessarily mean an equal vibration. One can be having a hard time, and we meet and get together, and we help uplift each other. But making a decision on I should go because it's been a while, and she's having a really hard time, and then I go, I'm vibrationally out of line with myself. I am going as a person. I'm going in person mode. And vibrationally, it's not, it'll still be a loving interaction. However, it won't be, it just won't be pure, undiluted, mindless interaction. Just a mindless interaction. So, it's worth going through the awkwardness of not doing those automatics. The reason, this ascension process may seem more difficult than being conditioned over lifetimes is the conditioning that was happening before we were not aware of. I know this is an obvious statement. Sometimes I'll make obvious statements, so I'll, always be right. So, one thing that feels kind of difficult about this process is being completely aware of, the undoing of the unnecessary and the basically relearning. And, even though I haven't learned, okay, here's some wood, knock on wood, even though I haven't had to relearn how to walk in this lifetime, many times they have showed me that it's a lot like having to learn how to walk and talk and read and write all over again as an adult. And, the documentaries I've watched in my lifetime, things like that, it is, I've heard it's just unbelievably hard. They can't even describe how hard it is to learn those things all over again as an adult. Something I was going to mention the other day, I talk about the shedding process a lot because I'm obviously still in it, and I may always still be in it, but they told me the other day, and I realized it when I was recording a video, that the process may go on indefinitely, however, it will feel done to me sometime. So I realized something the other day. My mom told me, and I'm not sure positive about these ages. I'll ask her, but I want to say it before I forget. My sister, my middle sister, she started losing her skin when I believe she was 6 weeks old. I'm pretty sure she was 6 weeks old. And shed her skin. And I started losing my skin when I was 6 months old, I believe. And completely lost my skin and shed. I just think that's so fascinating. And when I was living in a tent a few summers ago, I'm not sure how many summers ago now, maybe 4? Wow, getting further away from that. That was in the beginning stages of this burn, not very long after I woke up with Muji. I landed in a tent, and I literally found a full snake shed on this island by the Flathead River. Absolutely incredible. I found an entire goose egg that had fallen from a nest, wasn't broken. It wasn't warm anymore. I couldn't save the chick inside. Just these, Mother Earth the universe has given me so many amazing things, so many signs to mirror where I've been, on my journey. Was there anything else we wanted to talk about today? So, only seeing my mom only lives like 15 miles away from me, and I see her once or twice a month, and that's not any mental construct of my own. That's trusting that Source will have us interact in the physical way when we're supposed to. We text and talk on the phone all the time. We could not be closer. And, it doesn't sound morbid to me at all. It's nothing but life-giving. When my mom drops her physical form to be with Dad, our relationship remains the same. Because it's not death, it's life and transition. And so, my dad is still here, my mom will still be here, and since we don't base our relationship on having to see each other in these physical forms, we know we are soulmates, playing different roles for each other, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And it really has nothing to do with these physical forms. It's hard for the mind to grasp that, and it's not really necessary for it to completely. I don't believe that it ever can completely. It's not designed to. However, the longer I have trained myself to believe the truth from believing something that just made me sad, now it's just automatic because it is the truth of existence. And so practicing it into this physical mind does take some work. However, I'm not kidding myself now. I have practiced it into a belief. And I've done that with many beliefs. I have let go of the beliefs that I automatically thought that made me feel bad, make me feel bad and made me feel bad. And I've practiced them, I've let go of them and starved them of any identifying with them, and replaced them with a belief, a practice thought that becomes a belief and an automatic, like it's me, to something that makes me feel good and that, resonates as the truth to me. I'm so sensitive that even starting to talk about it bothers me. But, I just want to be always real and authentic with you, so you can relate to somebody, because, I've went through my life not being able to relate to anybody because I am so sensitive. I saw a man, extracting silk from a spider the other day, and it's taken me 4 days, and I'm still crying about it. It's taken me 4 days to ignore the thought, not feed it, and it's difficult. This practice seems difficult to me because there's so much in my body attached to, the perceived suffering of this spider. I know it's gonna sound absolutely ridiculous to some people, but it's so real to me. And it has been for my whole existence on this planet ever since I was tiny. I remember, just really feeling the suffering of creatures, real or imagined. And I had to ask them today because it felt like it was taking so long for this to leave. That's my throat chakra. I don't know what's going on with it right now. Fear. They said it's fear of expressing my authentic self. Leaving. Yay! Okay, so I asked them, please help me see this like you want me to see this. It's the only way I can get relief. I can't try to make myself see it in a way that makes me feel better. I lost that ability when I woke up with Muji also. That's how I used to survive. Now I just need to see it how it is. And and then I ask the question, and then I immerse myself in the moment, in beingness, and there's just silence. Even if that thought of the spider is trying to come in, and the feelings of the suffering are trying to come in, or they're still here even, I just immerse myself in it. I just face it, and I ask the question, please help me see this like you want me to see this. Please help me see this the way it really is, so I can feel relief, because there's nothing I can do about it. That's what hurts, equally the most, is the fact that I can't stop the suffering in this situation. So I immerse myself in silence, and I listen, like my life depends on it. For me it does, because identifying with thoughts that hurt me, like this is hurting me, it's life-taking, not life-giving, and it's blocking the light that can shine out to others. They said I'm making good use of what I'm going through, or what's going through me, and making it brighter than it would have been if I wouldn't have shared this experience. So what they're sharing with me about what the spider is feeling is, the spider isn't obviously thinking like I am, but I am definitely picking up suffering from the spider. But it's not suffering like I'm perceiving it to be suffering. I am actually suffering more than the spider is. The spider is very present, they're telling me. Very present. So on to the person that is videotaping this and actually doing that. Vibrationally, it's bad. It's person-centered. It's self-gratification for the personal identity. And so vibrationally, Vibrationally, it will catch up to him, what he is doing. And they say that it's not bad, that it makes me feel better to know that. That's how cruelty gets swept away. This is a poem by Mother Teresa, and then I have to go because of time. Love has a hem to its garments that reaches the very dust. It sweeps the stains from streets and lanes, and because it can, it must. Love will always prevail, no matter what it looks like. Try not to focus on the suffering and take it to silence. Or reach out to me. Love you so much.